Hey awesome people, my name's Ryan Wilkes. I'm a Canadian travel and adventure filmmaker. Usually when I go to a new country, I try to experience the culture, the food, hang out with the local people, check out the wildlife and the landscapes and go on adventures. When I went to Uganda, pretty much my sole purpose of the trip was to experience the wildlife. Uganda is one of only 3 countries in the world where you can see mountain gorillas in their natural environment. My goal was to go all the way to this deep southeast corner of the country, right near the border of the Congo and Uganda, to the windy, impenetrable national park to be able to go trekking to try to find the mountain gorillas. Trekking through the forest to find the gorillas was actually one of my favorite parts of the experience. We were guided by 2 guides and 2 bodyguards essentially to protect us from forest elephants that also inhabit this forest. Our guide had to cut a new path out of the way because the brush is so overgrown on the forest floor. And after about 3 hours of trekking, we did find a family of gorillas. Gorilla tourism is quite tightly regulated by the Ugandan government, so from the moment that you find the gorillas, you get 1 hour to spend with them and to, soak up as much of the experience as possible. And as soon as that hour's up, you gotta get out of there and leave them alone and let them do their thing. There aren't really any words that can describe the feeling of standing face to face with one of our closest relatives on the planet. Seeing the facial expressions on each of the different gorillas, seeing the silverback and how protective he was of his family, and seeing how playful and curious some of the younger gorillas were, it was just an incredible experience. As soon as I arrived, I went to my hostel, I saw a pamphlet on the wall with a bird on the front of it that is just unmistakable. It was a shoebill stork, and it turns out that the Mabamba swamp that is just a stone's throw away from Entebbe is one of the best places in the world to see these incredible birds. So the next morning we got up super early, crack of dawn, got out on the swamp, and actually within 20 minutes of getting to the swamp we found a shoebill stork, and we felt incredibly lucky because they are very rare birds and they're very difficult to find in the thick swamps of Uganda. After having such an awesome time with the gorillas, I decided that I would go and test my luck looking for another species that Uganda is famous for. So I traveled to Queen Elizabeth National Park in search of the tree-climbing lions. Although there are lots of lions throughout Africa, there are only 3 prides that are known to spend time in trees, which is pretty cool. And it just happens that one of these prides calls Uganda home. We drove around the park for 10 hours and we didn't see anything until the park was starting to close and a rainstorm started, and we just saw a mom and a couple of cubs coming out of the bush. It wasn't until the next morning where we got up bright and early, we were the first ones in the park, and we saw the full family of lions, a mother with 4 cubs in a fig tree. It was just incredible to see these massive cats balancing on these branches and just enjoying themselves up in this tree. My advice to anyone looking to travel to a country for the purpose of looking for wildlife would be to be patient. There's no guarantee that we're ever going to see what we're looking for, and it's all about the journey. And that was my epic trip to Uganda.